Hi, Jeannie. It's great to see you. Are the rumors true? Are you dating Anderson Paak? Are you?
Have you seen his movie? It's so good.
How is it?
You look beautiful, Jenny.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you arriving at Andy's.
Well, it's looking like Jeannie is going through a seriously rough stretch right now, because just days after things reportedly fell apart before she could even lock in that next big move, everything flipped fast and not in her favor. What was supposed to look like a clean, confident new chapter suddenly feels shaky, and people are definitely noticing the shift in energy. Then here comes Jeezy stepping out calm, composed, and making it pretty clear he's now with Nia Long. No chaos, no messy rollout, just a smooth, almost strategic reveal that instantly changed the whole narrative. And just like that, everything Jeannie was trying to present, it's not hitting the same anymore. Now, the timing is what's really got everyone talking. While Jeannie appeared focused on launching something new and polished, Jeezy stayed low-key, quietly building something that actually looks solid, and waited until the right moment to let it be known. That contrast, it's loud without anyone saying a word. And insiders are saying Jeannie isn't brushing this off at all, because this isn't just about him moving on. It's about who he moved on with and how clean, drama-free, and put together it all looks compared to what she's dealing with right now. But here's where it gets even deeper. People are starting to rewind everything. The past interviews, the subtle chemistry, the timing of when things started shifting, and how both Jeezy and Nia seemed to lean on each other during low moments. Fans had picked up on the vibe early, but nobody thought it would flip this fast or this clean. Now it's all connecting, and the timeline is raising way more questions than answers. Meanwhile, Anderson Paak is moving like a man who feels completely vindicated right now, and he's not even trying to hide it. He's out here subtly throwing shade, creating distance, and slowly shaping a very different version of what really went down behind the scenes. And the way he's doing it? Calm, but pointed. You can tell he wants people to connect the dots on their own. Because let's be real, this situation is spiraling fast. Jeannie can't seem to catch a break right now, and it's like every direction she turns, there's another hit waiting. One minute she's trying to step into something new, and the next minute everything is unraveling in public. It's barely been a few days since news broke that Anderson Paak walked away almost immediately. Like they didn't even get the chance to properly confirm anything before it was already over. That alone had people confused, but then the rumors started stacking up, and suddenly the narrative got a lot heavier. Allegations, online whispers, and conversations about past behavior started resurfacing, and now the whole situation feels way bigger than just a short-lived romance. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more intense, it did, because right on cue, her ex Jeezy steps in and confirms what people had been speculating about for weeks. He and Nia Long are officially together, clean, confirmed, and perfectly timed. So now the pressure is coming from both sides at once, one situation raising questions, the other one looking polished and drama-free. And that contrast, it's making everything hit even harder. And according to multiple insiders, Jeannie is absolutely spiraling over this situation because the optics are not working in her favor at all. The idea that her ex is now stepping out in a fresh, steady relationship with an industry heavyweight like Nia Long while she's dealing with a public fallout, yeah, that contrast is hitting hard, and people are definitely talking. Now, here's the thing. Rumors about Jeezy and Nia being more than just friends have been floating around for a while, but both of them played it smart. They kept everything low-key, classy, and never rushed to confirm or deny anything. Just quiet moves, subtle appearances, and letting people guess. And now that it's out, it feels way more solid because of how carefully they handled it. What's making this even more interesting is the backstory. Both of them were coming out of long, complicated relationships that didn't end clean at all. Nia had been with Ime Udoka for years, engaged, deeply connected, basically building a life together until everything fell apart in a very public and messy situation that had everyone watching. And Jeezy's split with Nia, that wasn't quiet either. That situation had tension written all over it, with reports suggesting things behind the scenes were far from smooth. Now, here's where it all connects. Their breakups happened not that far apart, and insiders are saying during those low moments, Jeezy and Nia leaned on each other heavy. Conversations turned into support turned into something deeper, and before anyone even realized it, there was a real bond forming. And let's be honest, when two people go through messy endings at the same time and find comfort in each other like that, it can move fast and it can get serious real quick, which is exactly why this reveal feels less random and more like something that's been building quietly the whole time. At first, people really thought it was just a one-time mistake, but according to multiple reports, it went way deeper than that. Sources started saying that Ime Udoka had been involved in repeated situations, not just a single incident, and that's when everything began to spiral fast. Insiders even claimed there had been prior warnings behind the scenes. At least one situation had already raised concerns, and it wasn't just quiet talk. There were internal issues being addressed at the time. Reports suggested that more than one workplace relationship became the problem, and suddenly this wasn't just personal drama anymore. It crossed into professional territory too.
I had a really public breakup recently. It was a wake-up call for me in the sense of like, okay, you're going to do this on your own and you're going to be fine. And you're not going to worry about what anyone thinks and has to say, because the relationship was rocky for a very long time. So, because I don't believe another person can break anyone up. Like, I don't buy that, right?
Some individuals connected to the situation reportedly pulled back from public platforms, accounts disappearing, comment sections locked down, and that only made people more curious about what was really happening behind closed doors. And when you hear that leadership within the Boston Celtics had stepped in at certain points, that adds a whole other layer to the situation. But here's the part that really shocked people. Even as things were getting closer to becoming public, it's been reported that Nia wasn't fully aware of the extent of everything right away. The timing of how it all came out made it feel sudden and overwhelming. When the Celtics released their official statement confirming a suspension tied to violations of team policies, that's when everything hit the public all at once. And just like that, what had been private tension turned into a full-blown public situation overnight. The speed, the timing, and the way it all unfolded, that's what made this story stick with people, because it didn't just come out, it exploded all at once. And it didn't stop there, because what really made people step back and say, wait a minute, was the timing of everything. Nia Long had reportedly just uprooted her entire life in Los Angeles and moved to Boston, literally weeks before everything went public. That's a huge shift, especially when you're doing it for someone you trust. And the part that hit hardest, reports suggest that Ime Udoka was already aware that the situation might become public, yet the full picture didn't reach Nia until things were already unfolding. That timing made the situation feel even more overwhelming and emotional. Nia later opened up about how deeply it affected her, and her words really showed the weight of it all. She shared that she felt like my heart had jumped out of my body, which says everything about how sudden and painful that moment was for her. And instead of focusing on anything else, she immediately shifted her attention to her son, making sure he felt supported during such a confusing time. She also spoke about how difficult it was for him to process everything, especially with how quickly it became public. Seeing your family situation turn into headlines overnight, that's not something you can prepare for. And she made it clear that for her, protecting her child emotionally was the top priority above everything else. Nia even expressed disappointment about how things were handled publicly, saying the situation felt exposed in a way that made it harder for her family to heal. And as more details surfaced, the focus stayed on how complicated and painful the aftermath became, not just for her, but for everyone close to the situation.
My older son saw me trying to
do what I'm doing.
But did you go to therapy with her?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Right. This has not been a easy journey.
Right.
I can tell you that I'm saddened. I can tell you that I'm disappointed.
So on top of dealing with that emotional fallout, Nia Long also had to step up and carry the weight for her child during one of the hardest periods of her life. That's not just heartbreak, that's pressure, responsibility, and emotional strain hitting at once. And then, almost like history repeating itself, just a few months later, Jeezy filed for divorce from Jeannie Mai. And from the outside, it quickly became clear that this situation wasn't going to be smooth either. Reports suggested that Jeannie was completely blindsided by the filing. One minute she was trying to hold everything together, and the next minute the marriage was already slipping out of her hands. Insiders were saying she genuinely wanted to fight for her relationship, to keep her family intact, and to avoid things ending this way. Sources close to her even shared that she was devastated and still deeply in love, hoping they could work through whatever was going on behind the scenes. For her, this wasn't just a breakup, it was the collapse of something she believed would last. But on the other side, Jeezy seemed to be moving in a completely different direction. His mindset appeared focused, detached, and forward-looking, and when he dropped that cryptic message about focusing on who I'm becoming and who's not coming with me, that wasn't subtle at all. That line alone had people reading between the lines because it sounded like a man who had already made his decision and wasn't looking back. Now, here's where things get even more complicated, because nobody can pinpoint exactly when Nia Long and Jeezy started leaning on each other like that. But fans have been connecting timelines, and some believe it may have lined up with the period when everything between Jeezy and Jeannie Mai started to seriously break down. During that time, reports surfaced involving legal filings and serious allegations that quickly turned their split into a very public and tense situation. Court documents included claims about both emotional and physical conflict within the relationship, which immediately drew attention and sparked heavy online discussion. Jeannie described multiple moments where she felt deeply affected by the situation, including claims about verbal exchanges and incidents that she said escalated beyond arguments. She also shared details of a specific night where tensions reportedly rose after an event, describing a situation involving a car ride where things became heated.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it. You know, I think life partners are amazing. You know, yeah, I would think so.
How did you feel when the internet said you was trying to holler at Nia Long by any means necessary?
They weren't lying. They was not lying.
Right. You said real niggas don't cheat.
No, they don't. Hold on.
She said, really?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not, that ain't in my blood.
That's real.
But when you say I was trying to holler, yeah, I was, you know, but I had to be respectful because I was still, you know, finalizing, you know what I'm saying? So it was hard. It was tough. You gotta stay in focus.
Would you spin the block on that real quick?
Oh.
I mean, on the other one.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everything is finalized and we good
I'm gonna press
now.
pause. I'm gonna hit the pause button. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna play about that.
Oh, so you said we might see her at some of these shows?
I mean, listen.
According to those filings, she alleged that attempts to leave the situation were difficult in that moment and that the interaction became more intense than expected. These claims added another layer to an already complicated separation and fueled even more public speculation about what had really been happening behind closed doors. On the other side, Jeezy strongly denied all of the allegations and pushed back firmly. He described the claims as false and said they were deeply upsetting, especially given their past relationship. He also suggested that the situation was being misrepresented and expressed concern about the impact it could have on his reputation and his family. He made it clear that his main focus moving forward was being present as a father and handling the legal process properly. And just like that, what started as a private breakup turned into a full-scale legal and public battle with two completely different versions of the same story playing out in real time. With everything unfolding publicly, both sides made it clear they were ready to let the legal process play out, including discussions around custody and moving forward through the proper channels. But let's be real, this whole situation, it was messy, emotional, and had people watching every single move. Now, here's where the story takes a turn, because in the middle of all that chaos, something unexpected started building. Jeezy and Nia Long began leaning on each other more and more. What started as support during tough times slowly turned into consistent time spent together, and somewhere along the way, it shifted into something deeper. Fans actually started picking up on it early. There was that one interview where both of them opened up about their past relationships and the pain they had gone through. That moment stood out, especially because it was one of the first times Nia publicly reflected on her breakup and what it taught her. She described the experience as a wake-up call, admitting that at one point she had even considered trying to rebuild things just to keep her family together. But in a powerful twist, she shared that her older son encouraged her to choose herself, to step back, see things clearly, and not settle for less than she deserved. That moment hit people hard because it showed growth, clarity, and a shift in mindset. And while the interview was meant to focus on healing, viewers couldn't ignore what was happening right in front of them. The chemistry between Jeezy and Nia was undeniable. The way they spoke, the energy, the comfort, it didn't feel forced at all. And fans wasted no time calling it out, saying they needed to stop playing and just be together already. And then things got even more interesting because Jeezy didn't completely shut it down. In fact, he hinted in later conversations that he was open to something more, even admitting there was genuine interest there. And once that's out, that's when speculation really turned into belief. Well, now that the divorce is officially finalized, let's just say Jeezy and Nia Long are not hiding anything anymore. They're fully stepping into it. What was once quiet, low-key, and behind the scenes has now turned into something public, confident, and very real. They took their time, kept things private while everything was still fresh, but now they're clearly ready to move forward and take things to the next level. And that shift is hitting extra hard because of everything happening around them. Meanwhile, Jeannie Mai is reportedly not taking this well at all. And here's the twist. Word is she already knew about the connection between Jeezy and Nia before it became public, which might explain why she suddenly started posting about being deeply in love and calling her new situation the most fulfilling relationship she's ever had. She even dropped that TikTok message talking about how life is crazy and how love can show up when you least expect it. At the time, it sounded like a fresh start, but now, after everything that's happened, people are looking back at it very differently. Because just like that, Anderson Paak stepped away and that whole narrative collapsed almost overnight. And now the contrast is loud, really loud. Anderson, on his side, seems completely unbothered and even a little shady about it. There's this growing perception that he believes he avoided a complicated situation altogether, especially when people start comparing outcomes, her past relationships versus where her exes are now. From her former husband moving on and building a new life, to Jeezy now being linked with someone as established and respected as Nia, it's creating a narrative that's hard to ignore. And now everything is hitting Jeannie all at once. Not just bad timing, this feels like a full reality check playing out in public, and right now it doesn't look like the pressure is easing up anytime soon. If you've been following this story, you already know it's far from over. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments because this situation just keeps getting deeper. See you in the next one.